Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the today's session. Today we are going to discuss about public key cryptography principles. So here it is. We can say it is a great revolution by this public key cryptography. In the entire history, the public key cryptography has created for the asymmetric encryption. Asymmetric means two separate keys are used at the sender and receiver side. So this public key cryptography, has two most difficult problems. So before that, there are two more difficult problems in the symmetric encryption. Those are key distribution and digital signatures. That is, the key distribution means in a symmetric approach, both sender and receiver has to use the same key. So there is a difficulty to share that key between the sender and receiver through the network. Digital signatures. So somebody need to verify how to verify a message, because if the same key is used by more than one person, say for example ABC, if three are using the same key, if they send the same ABC send by using the same key to the receiver cannot understand that from which sender the concerned content is received. Okay, so those are the problems. See here, the public key, or we can say two key, or an asymmetric encryption. So here we use two different keys. One is public key and another one is private key. As a pair, we use this to overcome that problem. So see here, the following figures illustrate public key encryption. See this. This is the public key encryption. Plain text we are taking. We are applying some algorithm here. Say for example RSA algorithm. See here, public key ring. We are using, say somebody, Joy, Mike, Alice, Ted, Bobs, many people are there. We need to take a pair. If you choose Alice key pair, if you are using here public key, the same Alice private key how to use for the decryption here. So these are, we say that it is a pair of keys. One is public and another one is private. So after the encryption, our data will be converted into the ciphertext. That ciphertext will be transmitted through the network. Okay, so here the decryption is done by the Alice private key, and finally we will get the plain text. So the essential steps involved here in the encryption scheme is, so every user generates a pair of keys to be used for the encryption and decryption. So each user places one of the two keys in a public register and the other one is in a private. Okay. See, if B wants to send a confidential message to A, then what B do? B encrypts the message using A's public key, because B wants to send information to what? To A. So then it will do with the public key. So at the sender side we use the public key, at the receiver side there it will be private key. Okay. So when A receives that message, it decrypts by using a private key. That private key is available with A only. Okay. So nobody else can decrypt the message without A's private key. Okay. See, if your wishes to change his keys, so generate another pair of keys. So publish the public one and another one is a private, that you can do it. So these are the notations we used here in the public key cryptography, that you can see. The public key of user A, we are mentioning KUA. Public means U, we are representing with U. Private means R. KUA, KRA. It is a public key of sender A. I mean A. Similarly, private key of A. So that encryption method will be mentioned with E. The decryption is mentioned with capital D. See here the notation. If B wants to send a plain message X to A, so then that can be represented as y is equal to encryption of KUA comma x. So the x is a plain text. So you are going to send this one to A. So you are using A's public key. You are performing the encryption. Okay. So the receiver will decrypt. What is the representation? He is performing the decryption with what? By using what? By using the private key of A, and then this is Y, and this is received message. Okay. So he'll perform the decryption here, and he will get the plain text. So these are the notations which were used in a public key cryptography that we see now. See here, attacks means the attacker may try to attack on the data. See, the first attack on public key cryptography is attack on authenticity. So he may try to copy user B. See here, attacker may impersonate user B. So he will copy B data. Now he will send a message E of KUA comma X. Now after attacking, he is sending this message to the A and claims in the message to B to A as no guarantee this is so. To overcome this kind of problems, so B will encrypt the message using his private key. So far what we were discussed, if B wants to send a message to A, then what I told you, we have to do that with a public key of A, and then encrypted we can send it. See here, if that is attacked by the attacker, then what he do? He will send that request message. So to overcome that problem, we are saying that we will encrypt the message using his private key. His private key means B's private key. So y is equals to E of K or B means private key of B comma X. X is the plain text. So we are performing the encryption in this way. For what? To overcome the problem of in the previous, as we discussed in the previous, to overcome that problem, here we are suggesting that to encrypt with the same private key. Now the receiver will decrypt using B's public key K or B. See here, this shows authentication of the sender because he is the only one who knows the private key. So in such a way we can overcome this problem. See, the entire encrypted message serves as a digital signature. This scheme is depicted in the following figure. See here. Let us see. Take the plain text. So here we are taking the pair, Bob's pair, private and public. So before diagram, I have told you first we have to perform with a public key, and the receiver side we have to use the private key. But you can see here, see the encryption algorithm. Here we are using the private key, and then it will be converted as a ciphertext. We are transferring through the network, and again the Bob's public key, using the Bob's public key we are performing the decryption, and we will get the plain text out. Okay, now the authentication is there. You can observe here there is an authentication because we know that definitely it is sent by the so and so Bob. Okay, so previous one, in the previous diagram I have told you, you can see here, see this, we are using the public key. What is the problem we mentioned here? If somebody theft this, public means open, anybody can. If they access this, instead of allies, if somebody send the request to the receiver, then there is a problem. That means there is no what is not there there. There is no authentication. For that, what we have done, we are changed. At the sender side, we are performing the private key. With the private key, we are performing the encryption, Bob's, and we are sending the data to the receiver. So it is the Bob's public key. But see here, again there is a drawback, still exit. Anybody can decrypt the message, no? See here, it is a public key. Here the protection is there because it is a private key, there is a protection. But at the decryption side, it is a public key. The public key, anybody can attack, anybody can catch it, attack it, and they can do the decryption, no? So that is a drawback here again. So the secrecy and confidentiality is being compromised. So there is no confidentiality here. We are losing it. So how we can provide the both? What do you mean by the both? The authentication and the confidentiality, both we have to maintain. So what to do for that? See, in the first approach, we have the we don't have the authentication, and in the second approach, we don't have the confidentiality. And now let us see how to overcome this problem, how to maintain both authentication and confidentiality here. Let us see. In this diagram, you can observe. See, there is a message source X. We are performing the encryption algorithm. Okay, with what? Key pair source. Private key of A, that you can observe here. Private key, with a private key of A, we are performing the encryption, and that you are sending to the next algorithm. So here again you are performing the encryption with public key of B. Okay, so at the source side, we are performing the encryption process two times. One is with the private key of A, and another time is with the public key of B. Okay, two times it is happening. So with the public key, if they catch, if they attack, okay, but they cannot get this one because it is a private key, no, there is a security. And now after performing this, they are sending the ciphertext to the destiny. See, at the destiny, you can observe here. So first this one encrypted, then a last encryption was done with the key, public key of B. So first what we have to do? We have to perform the decryption process to that one first. So for that we have to use the same pair. What is the same pair? Private key of B. So we are using the private key of B. We are performing the decryption of this algorithm, right? And then we will get the Y. See here, X, Y, Z. So first X is a plain text, you are encrypted, that is becoming as a Y, and again it was encrypted, it is becoming as a Z. That Z data is given to this. Here the decryption process is done, and we are getting Y. Okay. So again, see here, with the private key of A, you have done the encryption in the first, and now at last you have to perform the decryption with the public key of A. So after that, what you will get? You will get the plain text X. So this is the original message. Okay. So by this, you can observe that both we achieved here. What are the both? The authentication is there, and also confidentiality is there. Okay. Even they got the public key of B, they cannot get the data, right? And here even they got the public key of A, they cannot get that information because both sides were performing the encryption decryption process. So by this we can provide the both. See here, this is the representation, right? What are the applications of public key crypto systems? Encryption or decryption. So sender encrypts the message, the receiver public key. Okay. What is the digital signature? The sender signs the message using his private key. So that we call as a digital signature. See, encryption means the sender encrypts the message with the receiver's public key. Say for example, A wants to send an information, send a data to B. Okay. Sender encrypts the message with receiver public key. So here you have to use public key of KUB. Okay, right. That is the first point. What is digital signature? Sender signs the message using his private key. Using his private key means that is KRA. Okay, right. And next one is what? Third one, key exchange. So two sides cooperate to exchange a secret key for later use in a secret key crypto system. Okay. So it is performed, and they have to exchange the secret keys at both the ends to maintain the secret key crypto system. Okay, so these are the applications of public key crypto system. Okay, see what are the main requirements of public key cryptography are. See, computationally easy for a part B to generate a pair, that is public key, private key. So here a pair will be generated very easily. See here, easy for sender A to generate ciphertext. Yes. Easy for the receiver B to decrypt the ciphertext using the private key. Yes, that is the representation here. See, the computation is computationally infeasible to determine private key knowing public key KUB. If even you know the public key KUB, you cannot get the private key of that one. Okay. See, computationally infeasible to recover message M knowing KUB and ciphertext. Even you know the public key of B and you know the ciphertext of C, without knowing the private key, you cannot do anything. See, either of the two keys can be used for encryption with the other used for the decryption. So, at one side, any one you have to use for the encryption, and the other side, the other one will use it for the decryption. So, these are the main requirements when you are when you are performing the public key cryptography. These are the main requirements. See here, it is easy to define a mean a problem that can be solved in a polynomial time as a function of input length. See, the problem is infeasible if the effort to solve it grows faster than the polynomial time as a function of input size. Okay, so the public key crypto systems usually rely on difficult math functions. So the performance should be fast, quick. So one wave function is one, easy to calculate in one direction, infeasible to calculate the in other direction. When you are following in a one direction, that has to be maintained. Then trapdoor function. It is a difficult function that becomes easy when if some extra information is known. Our aim is trapdoor one way function, means which is easy to calculate one direction and infeasible to calculate in other direction, I told you, unless certain additional information is known. Okay, see the security of public key schemes like private key, the brute force access to such attack is always theoretically possible, but keys used are too large, greater than 512. If the key size is less than 512 bits, it is easy to perform attack. The security relies on a large enough difference in difficulty between easy and hard problems. What do you mean by easy and hard problems? Encryption and decryption process, and this one is cryptanalysis. See, the hard problem is known; it just made too hard to do in the practice. Even you know, in a practice, it is very difficult to get the original information through the attack. So, requires the use of very large numbers and is slow compared to the private key schemes. Okay, so this is about public key cryptography principles. Okay, and the next concept is RSA algorithm. Okay, and this one we will discuss on tomorrow.